Welcome to Let's Talk Petty. We are not petty, but we love talking about it.
Yes, we do. Every week, we love talking about it.
That sounded very sarcastic, like you don't actually love talking about it.
I love talking about it.
That didn't make it any better. I'm Kate.
I'm Andrew.
I get to tell a story that was sent in by one of our listeners.
Awesome.
Yeah, they found it, I think on Facebook, but then I was able to find it on Reddit because that's where it originated from.
Easier to read off of there.
It was much easier. It was all broken up and weird on, you know how they'll break it into blocks on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
It was very annoying, but I'm so amazing at finding things on the internet, as you know.
You pretty much should add Google search guru onto your resume.
I could. So I found it. It is from, it's the Am I the A-hole part on Reddit. And it is from Any Description 2013.
Any description.
Any Description dash 2013.
Pretty open-ended. It's dangerous, especially for the internet.
All right. And it is, am I the a-hole purposefully booking the same wedding venue as my sister, but earlier so I could get married there first?
Yes, case closed. Next one.
Okay. We don't even have to discuss this.
Nope.
You figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see you guys next week.
Bye.
Anyway, let's read the story.
Okay.
All right. It says, I can admit that my viewpoint is pretty one-sided, but my actions have divided my family, so I figured I could get some outside perspective. That, when somebody is like, my viewpoint is pretty one-sided, doesn't that kind of go without saying?
Means
when
they
you're
already
talking about
know,
yourself?
Means they already know what they want to hear, but they're just nicely asking for other opinions, but they're probably not going to listen to it. And they're going to try to do everything they can to justify what they've already done.
Maybe, but I feel like she's pretty justified. So we'll see. We'll see what you think.
You shouldn't ask that after you do something. You should ask that before you do something.
Well, wait till you hear the story.
Okay.
And then you can judge. So it says, my sister and I don't get along. I can be honest and admit that she's much prettier than me, and that's something she's never let me forget. Both of my parents are pretty shallow, and they've always given her the best and put her first. I.e., if we both had a school event at the same time, they'd both go to hers. This has left me pretty bitter and distant from my family. So, what, kind of like the outcast of the family?
No matter how good she does.
In a weird way.
It's never going to be good enough.
Plus, I think it's funny that she calls her parents shallow. I mean, I guess they are if they like her sister only because she's prettier. So I do think it kind of made me laugh that she called her parents shallow.
I mean, they kind of are if that's how they're judging her.
Well, yeah, if it's accurate. If it's like, I mean, it's one-sided, so sometimes, I don't know.
But no parent should ever judge like that.
Yeah, if that's how they made her feel. If that's her perception, then that is pretty stinky. But I kind of chuckled at that part. All right, so then she continues, my boyfriend of 5 years recently proposed, and I was super over the moon. And straight out of a bad rom-com script, my sister got engaged right afterwards. It really didn't faze me other than serve as a slight nuisance since my parents were more happy and involved with her engagement. My mom's been helping her plan, but couldn't help me because my sister needed more help and she couldn't devote me the time I deserved. Don't feel bad for me though, because my mother-in-law is a godsend and super sweet / genuinely treats me with so much love.
Did I miss who's oldest?
Let's see.
Just trying to piece everything together. And I want to make sure I didn't miss it.
Think she's said yet. I'm hoping that she says later, but yeah, I don't see anything so far. Nope.
Just making sure. Trying to put all the pieces together.
All right. So hopefully she'll say maybe a little bit later.
Hopefully. If not, we're going to scrap this whole thing.
No one can hear this. She should have put that in the beginning. Anyways, what really pushed me over the edge was when my sister told me that she booked her wedding at my dream venue. I know it sounds so annoying and cheesy, but I really cared about this location.
So she got engaged after her, but booked the wedding venue first.
Correct.
That's a poor move.
Yeah. It's sentimental to her because my grandparents got married there. And I've talked about wanting to get married there as far back as high school when I was just daydreaming. So it's something that her sister knew that this is the place she wanted, which to me, I was like, well, then if you were engaged first, why didn't you already have it booked? If it was so important, wouldn't that be one of the first things that you do? Is get it booked? I don't know because I could care less about weddings. I thought it was dumb and a waste of money for ours. So I am bad judge of character when it comes to bad judge of character.
When are you saying that she should book it? Like, while she was in high school daydreaming about it?
No, I'm saying I
want to book it every day for the next 20 years.
No,
so that when I
said
married,
she got engaged before her sister.
I know.
So wouldn't that be one of the first things that...
I was just making a quip.
I went over my head. No, because I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the fact she was engaged first. So she had more time.
I was just talking about how ridiculous it would be when she was daydreaming about this in high school, when she was in math class looking out the window and seeing images of this venue floating by the window. And she's like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to book every day at this venue for the next 20 years. And one of the days I'm going to get married.
I mean, she could have.
Just
if she was
kind
thinking
of a ridiculous
ahead.
Premise.
It is. But again, I mean, some people do that. Some people like have this dream of what their wedding is going to be like. Their day. Too much. I know that people really like it. So the ones that do like it, I don't care.
Yes, she does.
If they want to do that, if they want to waste their money on that, then cool.
She's judging you, even by telling you that she's okay with it.
I just think the ones that go over the top are ridiculous. If you want to have like a wedding so you can have family and friends there and celebrate and you're not like a psycho about it, I'm like, thumbs up. But when you say stuff like this, like, oh, I've dreamt about it my whole life.
Thanks for sending.
Lost me.
Thanks for writing this story, but we're gonna make fun of you for it and tell you what a ridiculous person you are.
No, this person who wrote this didn't send it to me.
I know.
It was just a listener.
But now no one's ever gonna write anything on Reddit anymore.
Yeah. Because everybody who puts anything on Reddit.
I wonder what the Let's Talk Petty podcast is going to say about this.
And they're like, wait, let's listen to one first. And then they'll absolutely change their mind. And then they'll have to shut Reddit down. It's too bad. My judgmentalness got to
So now
everybody.
you're first you were the gatekeeper of Reddit. And now you're just shutting it all down.
Yes. It's too bad for everyone. Anyway. Now I can't remember where I was.
Very sidetracked by daydreaming about weddings. Her sister booked it first.
Yes. All right. So my sister doesn't give an F about my grandparents. But when I brought it up to my parents, or when I brought it up, my parents told me to stop being so petty. In a fit of actual pettiness, I ended up booking the same venue a month before my sister's wedding. I checked with the venue and there's venue. Am I saying that weird? Camera.
Venue.
Am I saying that weird? Camera.
There's going to be a camera at our venue.
The venue. A month before my sister's wedding. I checked with the venue and there's no way my sister can move the wedding up. They're booked up. And if she changes venues, she'll lose her deposit.
I can just imagine the two of these two women going back and forth and each moving it up a week ahead of time before it's finally tomorrow.
They have no time to set anything up.
And then on the day of, they're booking it hours in back of each other until the game of chicken's over and the wedding's in 5 minutes.
It's just weird. To me, it's just weird. My mother recently reached out to me and implored me to talk to my sister. I blocked her after the first call where she tried to ream me out. Apparently, my sister's really distraught. My mom said the least I could do was try and work something out with my sister, especially over such a huge event. I said no, but my mom said I was an a-hole for not even trying to hear her out and for being so stubborn and petty. I know my mom is biased, but it got me thinking because I've been pretty staunch about ignoring her calls, and some of my cousins have told me that she seems genuinely upset. I'm not sure whether or not I was right or if I am being a giant a-hole by being so stubborn. And then she says, so we've got a couple edits here. So it says, edit. I do want to add that I'm wondering if I'm being the a-hole for ignoring my sister, not really for booking the venue. My sister flat out told my cousin that she couldn't care less about the venue and booked it because it was convenient. But suddenly when I want to get married there too, it means the world to her. I think not. My grandparents practically raised me since my parents were always missing out on my life events. So it was G-Ma and G-Pa who came to support me. I was always going to get married there one way or another. And then she says, hi, I wanted to share an update for this. Oh, she writes this weird. For this, have been kind enough to ask. For those who have been kind enough to ask. I don't know who will see this or how it works, but I'll copy and paste just in case.
We'll see it.
She says, I appreciate everyone who took the time to comment. Both the positive and negative comments opened my eyes. I spent my entire life being bullied by my family, and when I had comments from internet strangers roll in trying to make excuses and defend my sister for trying to make my wedding planning all about her, I realized that I would never win, quote unquote, in the sense of doing the quote unquote right thing. I talked it over with my fiance, and he basically said, you're literally never happy when you talk about your family. Why do you keep putting yourself through that? So I decided to try talking to them one last time before going to North Carolina, just so I have no regrets. Most of you could probably guess what happened. My sister said that if I got married at the same venue as her, I'd steal her thunder, and that I was selfish for making my wedding all about me. I countered with the fact that I've been talking about getting married there for over a decade. So why would she think I wouldn't get married there too? Only for my sister to reply that the venue would be a waste on me because there was no way I could ever plan a wedding as beautiful as hers. This is the best dumb drama I've ever read. Who cares? I don't have a sister. I do have a best friend who is basically my sister. And there are some things that she does not like. Like if she has a pair of shoes or like an outfit that she really likes, people ask her where she got it. She will not tell them because she does not want somebody else to have the same shoes or the same outfit. And for stuff like that, which I don't really care, I will respect her, though, for her stance on it because she just doesn't want someone to look the same and stuff like that. But I will say, even with someone who doesn't like the same shoes, I don't think that she would make such a big deal about this. Who cares if somebody gets married at the same place you got married at? Isn't that weird?
There's obviously some deep-seated issues with her sister, which is causing it.
It has nothing to do about the
It's not about the venue. It's about their relationship. But let me.
So weird.
Is the story over?
It is not.
Oh, I've got so many comments that I wanted to make.
Go for it before I read the rest a little bit here.
Let me first say, she is very petty for booking the wedding after her sister did and booking it a week in advance.
No, month.
Or a month before.
How was
That's
that petty?
very petty.
But she got engaged first. So why wouldn't she get married
Does her
first?
sister know that she wanted to get married there?
Yeah, she said she'd been talking about it since high school.
But does her sister pay attention to her enough to know?
She said that her whole family knows that she wanted to get married there. And if this is a place, to me, this is a place that your grandparents got married at. So if both of you get married there, who cares? It could be like, oh, look, our whole like generations of our family are getting married.
I think it just all boils down to everyone thinking her sister's prettier than her and she wants something to stand out from her. And this would make her stand out.
I don't know.
I'm kind of getting the feeling that she's younger than her sister.
Maybe.
And she wants some attention. I don't know. There's definitely more to it. There has to be for something like this. There has to be.
Obviously their relationship is obviously weird. But
Or maybe she's more petty for not talking to her sister about it. Maybe that's where I
Well,
should
she
go
had
with
tried
it.
to talk to her sister about it, but then her sister was so ridiculous about it that that's when she blocked her.
Yeah, but blocking like that is always really petty.
Because, well, if you don't feel like dealing with somebody, you just block them. But
No, you just throw your phone away, stamp on it, and get a new phone.
oh yeah, that's right. A new
That
phone,
fixes it
but
every
the same
time.
phone number.
Yes. Just get rid of your phone. Break it in half, smash it, throw it away, get a new one. Works every time.
And then when they call, because the number's the same, you just break that phone, smash it, get rid of it.
No, that's when you go and take their phone and smash it so they can't call you anymore.
It's good thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Such good advice on here. The only thing I don't know. I think that her sister is the one because her sister's making the big deal about her getting married at the same one at the same place.
But I think her sister at the same time has issues where she doesn't want the tension away from her. These two just need to get married at the same time, same place, and just make it a dual wedding and get it over with. Everyone's happy.
How would that make it any better?
Both of them would be miserable, so it would be perfect.
Well, it sounds like they're both going to be miserable either way.
We're not going to have a win-win situation. We're not going to have a win-lose. We're not going to have a lose-win. We might as well have a lose-lose.
I feel like this is just... I just feel like
you're thinking about it. You're into this whole lose-lose proposition.
No, I'm not into the lose-lose. That would not help anything. I just think the whole thing is so dumb. Mainly because I just could care less about weddings. I think they're just such a waste of money.
And everybody that's thinking how great weddings are is thinking how ridiculous you are. And this is a really good story that someone wrote and wants some real advice.
I don't think that anybody's going to come here for some real advice.
I've been trying. Lose-lose.
I mean, we have a friend she's getting married in September. And I can tell you right now that the way she's doing it is the way that weddings should be planned. It's not anything crazy. They're not spending way more money than they can afford on stuff. It's going to be just a simple event, basically for everyone to get together and have a good time.
What happens?
Which is nice.
What happens if her grandparents left her all this money and in their will they said, we want you to get married before your sister at this venue and here's the money for it. And then her sister was mad. She could have been leaving out a lot of detailed facts about this. Now her sister's mad that she didn't get the money and didn't get this from her grandparents. So she's like, I'm going to take matters into my own hands.
So in their will,
they were like... G-Paw and G-Ma.
In their will, they're like, whoever gets married at the venue, I cannot say venue, that we got married at will get all of this money. If
no,
you get
she just left
first.
her in the will. It says, you have when you get married at this venue that we got married at,
I feel
here's
like
your money
she would
for
have
it.
put that info in
but
there.
her sister didn't get that. So her sister's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go there first.
I don't think
I
so.
think I just cracked it. And
it's a nice guess.
That's
no.
definitely what happened.
No.
You haven't come up with a better solution.
This whole thing is just it's so silly. So let's finish these last few paragraphs. Are you ready?
Paragraphs?
You're so dramatic. This dramatic story is rubbing off on you.
This is just edits. The story's over.
Adding to the story.
Okay.
It's more detail
Let's hear
on what happened.
Let's hear what happened.
So it says, the final straw was when my parents offered to pay for my entire wedding if I moved it. My parents, who couldn't be bothered to show up to my engagement party because my sister planned hers the next day and they'd need time to help her prep, suddenly wanted to pay tens of thousands of dollars just to make my sister happy. I think that kind of broke me. Long story short, I told them that effective immediately I was done being their punching bag and that they were no longer welcome at my wedding or in my life. They tried to play the sympathy card on social media, crying about how I divided the family, but my grandparents really came to bat for me. They basically made their own post shading my mom, their daughter, saying that they were thrilled to see their granddaughter, who they raised, get married at their venue, and that my grandpa would be walking me down the aisle. That pretty much shut up the most of my extended family. My cousin also let me know that my sister gave up her deposit in favor of changing the venue, which made me feel like it was proof that it was never about the venue and just about taking something that mattered to me. I wouldn't have cared if we were married at the same place, though.
So it all works out in the end. But I
In
do
the
have
end,
a
but it's
serious
so
question.
dumb. What?
Would you rather be a punching bag or a can for someone to kick?
Um,
It's a tough
a punching
question.
bag.
And your logic for that answer is?
Because when you're a can getting kicked, you're not just getting kicked, but you also like get scratched up as you're going along the ground. A punching bag, at least you're just hanging there and you get punched, and then when they leave, you're not dragging across the ground.
Good answer. Good logic.
Yes, such good logic. So all in all, after I read this, which actually some of these edits, because this was just posted 19 days ago, so some of these edits are new to me, which is why I was very thrilled to read those. But to me, this sounds like a family who is very wealthy and have way too much time on their hands to worry about stupid stuff that a lot of people probably would not care about as much. Like, they throw fits about stuff that we would be like, you're so dumb. Like, I could see them getting mad because they drive the same car, but I got it first. Stuff like that.
I still say lose-lose would have been the best answer.
I think I would have just kept ignoring planning my wedding how I wanted, but I would have done petty stuff like picked the same flowers as her and picked the same wedding dress or something, because I know people care about that stuff, even though
we know it's ridiculous.
Well, come on, you have to admit that it is a lot of money, but it
I
sounds
love
like they
a beautiful wedding.
You're right. You do like a beautiful wedding.
There's nothing more that I like than walking into a wedding, just observing all the flowers and the way it's all set up and decorated, and just watching the bride walk down the aisle, how beautiful and glowing she is. And then just going to a party after and singing and dancing until the night is over, till the next morning. There's nothing that I love more than that. It's probably on my top 5 favorite things to do.
That is exactly. You love to dance till morning light. You love it. No, I have the same sentiments as our firstborn child did when we went to our friend's wedding. When he was like, God, how old was he? He would have only been about 10 or so, maybe 11, 12, somewhere around there. And in between the wedding and then we went to where the reception was, when we got there, we had to wait for pictures, for them to take their pictures and stuff. And we were all just sitting around waiting for them to finish up. And it was very boring. And he kept wanting to do certain things. I was like, no, you can't do that yet. We're just sitting and we're just waiting. We're here to celebrate their special day. Do you remember any of this?
I was too busy off dancing.
No, that was later.
Oh.
This was before. We're just waiting.
No.
And I was trying to get him to just realize, like,
I remember waiting, but I don't remember.
It was an exceptionally long time because they kept having to move around. It was this whole thing, and then it rained a little bit, and it was a whole thing. But when I was telling him, we're here to celebrate their special day. This is their special day. And he said, maybe you're here to celebrate their special day, but why did you bring us? Why do we have to suffer for their special day? And I do remember at that time laughing and saying, he's kind of got a point.
Sorry you hate weddings and love so much.
Oh, please. It has nothing to do about love. Plus, the people that were getting married are divorced now. So,
Well, on that day, they loved each other.
I guess so. But anyway, that was the story that was sent in. Ridiculous.
I don't know if I would rate it ridiculous, but I'm glad you thought it was so ridiculous. There was a lot of petty in it, and it fit what we needed to talk about.
And I do think the sister was more petty. Because, again, who cares if she gets married at the same place? And if it's before your wedding, she got engaged first, so who cares?
Honestly, let her go first, and then you can see what you can do to change it to make it better, and then you'll have the better wedding. Advantage, whatever this username was. I don't think they think that deep. I would.
Yeah, it's any description.
Any description, you really missed a good opportunity to one-up your sister.
Yeah, I don't think they think that deep. But anyway, that was the story. It was very silly. Sorry I'm so judgmental about weddings.
Oh, it's not just weddings.
I am very judgmental.
Well, that's all our episode for today. She's going to go off and judge some things. Probably me. But while she's judging me, you can go to our website and judge it, letstalkpetty.com. You can listen to old episodes. You can leave us a message. You can send us messages on email. You can go to our social media sites like Twitter and get in touch with us there, share stories with us, but above all, share the podcast with someone.
Absolutely.
Tell them about it. If they're sick and tired of listening to true crime podcasts, tell them, hey, here's a fun one that you'll listen to. Plus, you can learn something.
Yes. You need a palate cleanser.
You need a break from morbidity and death and destruction. Just have fun and laugh and learn a fun fact about being petty.
And listen to two people being ridiculous. And the only thing I'm going to say about weddings, just to put some context over why I think that they are such a waste of money, is a lot of people spend way more money than they should on their weddings. Just set yourself up in life. Don't worry about your wedding.
No one cares because we've already ended the episode.
Whatever.
You should have said that earlier.
Darn it.
But we'll talk to you next week.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Please be sure and give our show a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And be sure to follow and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.